Hello, good morning, and welcome to episode 11 of La Violette Yarn and Give Co. Shopcast Knitting Podcast. My name is Manon, I'm your host today, and I am at the store, which is located in Bouctouche, New Brunswick, on the east side of Canada, and it's super beautiful country, super welcoming, so welcome. If you are a new viewer, I hope you enjoy it. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here with me. I feel like I'm chatting with my friend every time I'm podcasting. So thank you for subscribing, commenting, and all your love and support. This podcast is about knitting tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I started to knit. And also about my finished object, my dream knitting, and my whips. So grab your project, grab your favorite drink, and we'll see you in a few seconds. Welcome back. I hope you grabbed your drink and your project and you can join me for this episode. I am so excited and thrilled to show you my latest finished object. It is blocked and you may see some strings here and there because I have not weaved the ends of this, but it's finished block and I'm totally in love with it. So this is the East Coast Cowl. It is designed by Deborah at Yarn Indulgences, and she's Nancy from Knit Sip Happy's friend. And this is a beautiful pattern that she released last month. I believe about three or 4 weeks ago, she released the pattern. She was donated the proceed for the first week or two, I can't remember, so don't quote me on this. The proceed was going to the Alzheimer Society, and I have purchased 4 patterns during that period of time so that she could donate that portion of the funds from the purchase, and I'm going to give you 3 of those patterns. So I kept one for me and I've cast it on, and it's super addicting and fun to knit because there's no purling. A few increases here and there to get the V shape here. It's a cowl, it's knitted flat at the beginning, so it's all knit rows, garter stitches, and then you join it and knit, and you have stockinette stitches, and then you do the bind off. I did modify my bind off. I did a I-cord bind off, a 3-stitch I-cord bind off, and let me show you a little bit better here. And beside that, I follow the pattern pretty much. I think I followed the pattern pretty much to the T, except for the bind off, and I was surprisingly happy with the fit and the yarn I chose. I wasn't sure about the yarn when I started knitting because you could see some striping. Never been a fan of stripes, but this is beautiful. With the jean jacket I had it on this morning is really stunning. And I choose one of our East Coast yarn, obviously. This one is by Fleece Artisan. They did a National Park Series colors, and this colorway is called Cape Breton Highlands. So that's for the National Park in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. So how appropriate to have this. So I'm going to take it off and show. Well, you can see here how long it is. And it is, just nice. Beautiful, easy to follow. So to win one of 3 of these patterns, please comment down below and use the word cowl, and it's called the East Coast Cowl. If you don't win it, go and buy it. It's super fun. It's a perfect Netflix TV knitting, Netflix, whatever you want to call it, TV watching pattern. So super fun. And we have lots of colors of the National Park series. This would be super nice again in this one, like I've done, or this one is the Banff one. I just like the blues, and look, reminds me of the mountain and ocean. Beautiful. So what am I wearing today? Oh my gosh. So this was my Ranunculus number 5. And I'm super pleased with this one. I've used the blend, like if you haven't done your first Ranunculus after watching everybody's podcast, you have to cast one on. Don't be, don't be like just looking at the picture from Ravelry. You see this very, very skinny model who's super young and tiny, wearing this oversized, very see-through fabric Ranunculus. You can make it the way you want. And this is what's the most fun about knitting, is you can customize everything in it. Look at people's project on Ravelry. There's over, I think, 20,000 projects that people have taken the time to post about. This one here, I haven't posted yet on my Ravelry page because I'm way behind. I'm just one person here doing everything, but yeah. So this one I've knitted with the Eco Harmony yarn. It's a worsted weight yarn by Estelle. Don't think I have enough pink to do a sweater anymore, but we have beautiful colors, and it's a blend of 55-45, so 55 organic wool and 45 organic cotton. It's a worsted weight, so it's not holey at all. It's beautiful. Let me stand up to show you. Yeah, and every time I do my Ranunculus, I always follow the long sleeve instruction for my sleeves, and I usually make them small or short. Sometimes I do an I-cord bind off, sometimes I just do a ribbing or a twisted rib, and I've also done an I-cord bind off and some, and this one I decided to do a little cute picot edge, just to make it fun and feminine since it's summer, and I think it's super cute. I love it. And using a worsted weight makes it a little bit more dense of a fabric, but it's still flowy. I think I've used a 5.5 millimeter for this one, so it's an absolutely gorgeous pattern. So that was my number 5, and I've done another one, a number 6. Hold on, let me show you. This one, my number 6 Ranunculus, and see how versatile the pattern can be. Like I've done this one, and the camera doesn't really show the beautiful yarn. There's a halo on it. I've done this with the Julie Astley Nurture Fine, which is a little heavier than a lace weight, but much thinner than a fingering weight. It's got, I believe, 705 meters for 115 grams. And I've paired that with Julie Astley's mohair, and it did a mirror effect. This one I did the I-cord bind off here, 3/4 sleeve, and everything else is the same. Yeah, so you can have so many different versions, and they're all fun and individual and beautiful. So last time I recorded with my friend Nancy at Knit Sip Happy, and we were donating some of her pattern for a draw, and I purchased 2 patterns from her, and I purchased 3, 1 for me and 2 to give away, and she gave me 1 as well. So I am going to announce the winner of the pattern. So once you win, email me and I'll send you a code. Once you receive the code, you can go on Ravelry and pick any pattern that you wish from Nancy, of course. Also, if you don't have Ravelry, just email me back, and we are going to email you the pattern of your choice. So winner number 1 is Sylvie Labelle 4700. Félicitations, congratulations. As well as France M1704, and it could be, you know, with my French, France is France, but in English is Francis. So Francis M1704. And Suzanne Smith 3264, all 3, please email me and we'll send you the code to receive one of Nancy's pattern. So talking about Nancy's pattern, the newest one that she has designed and posted and published was the Dune grass sock, and I've made one. Oh my goodness. I love it. It's beautiful. My sock blocker is a small, and I've knitted a 7, so I should have used a medium, but I don't have any more in store right now, so this is the one I have. So it's not the right size for the sock size, but you can tell the beautiful grass seeds here. And this was my first ever toe-up sock, and I am going to make a second one for it. Let me start there again. I was surprisingly happy with how I love magic loops. So when I first cast on, it's got that funky cast on that you do from the toe on a magic loop. And as soon as I finished my toe and I had enough stitches, I could not wait to go back to my 9-inch circular. Well, my 9-inch circular, I could not achieve those little bump here. Nancy's got a great tutorial video, and it's very easy. And with my bad hand and the very tiny 9-inch circular needles, I could not do it. So then I took it apart, restarted it, and I kept them on the magic loop, and oh my goodness, it was like, wow, who knew that I could actually knit on magic loop? So loved the pattern, and having more room on my hand, I was able to maneuver that stitch with like my eyes closed. It was totally game changing. So I didn't know I could knit magic loop. Now the only thing is, and I would like, if you are a sock knitter and you do a lot of toe up, I like to know your favorite way of binding off, because right now my bind off is flaring and I don't like it. I put them on and it still flares. Nancy suggests the Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I'm not a fan of that bind off because it usually flares for me. So I did a different one, and I'm not gonna bother telling you which one it is because I don't like it either. It still flares. So please, if you are a toe up sock knitter, let me know your favorite bind off that gives you enough elasticity to put it over your heel but doesn't flare. So I can't wait to hear about how you do it. So today's tips is very simple. So basically, when you're knitting and you're changing color and there's a ribbing, I suggest that you knit a whole round of just knit stitches with your new color before starting your ribbing. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to have these pearl bump that changes color like this, which is no big deal really. It's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like that and you like the clean look of a color change, every time you change color, like from the cream to the red, you will knit a whole row of knit stitches in red. Then you do your ribbing, and when you change back to the cream, you knit a whole row of the cream color, and then you do your ribbing, and then you won't have those, you know, those pearl bump that lifts the under color there. So this is today's tip. And yeah, so what I use for yarn for my Dune grass sock is the Lily and Pine sock set, and it's beautiful. I'm really happy, and I am casting on my second sock, and hopefully by the time I'm at the ribbing, I will have my perfect bind off, and I will redo this cuff on my first sock. But yeah, this is the yarn I used, and it is the Christmas tree colorway. So beautiful color. And I also suggest this beautiful Celery Juice MCS by Leo and Roxy will be a great color for those socks. And if you want commercial yarn to be a little bit more budget friendly, the Heritage Cascade Heritage sock yarn, $75.25, great blend, $17, great price, and yeah, it's so much fun. So, and behind me, what do I have 2 FO this week, and I'm super excited. This one is the Ballentine by Alison Green at Barocco, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And let me bring my little mannequin a little closer here. So I will insert a picture so you can see the modification that I've done. I'm very short body here. So for me, when there's a lot of lace, it goes down to somewhere where I don't like. And you can easily modify that. If you longer torso or you like the picture of the model wearing the way that she wears the Ballentine on Ravelry, then you just go and do the exact same thing. I love the stitch and the lace, so I thought I can do that and just bring a little bit of modification. So this lace part here was done once and a second time here, and then the pearl and the ending of the lace was about here. Another modification that I've done is once I finish my lace, instead of doing my increase every, I can't remember now, like say, pardon me, every 12 stitches, what I did is I did some math, and I'm not sure where I put them because I wrote them in a napkin when I was watching TV. But I've done some raglan increase here instead of having them spread everywhere. And I like that fit, and it fits perfect for me. My modification number 2 was I did an I-cord bind off and 3/4 sleeve. And right at the bottom here, I did a row of pearl stitches right here before starting my twisted rib of 1 by 1. So a twisted rib, when you hear that, is basically knit 1 to the back loop and purl 1. And then you just repeat that. That gives you a twisted rib. So just before it, I did a purl row, and that's it. Now this yarn, oh my gosh, it's so delicious. It is called Mystico by Barocco, and it's a blend of brushed alpaca and cotton, and there's only 10% nylon, and nylon gives you some stability to the yarn, and it is super soft, and it's tweedy. So the tweed is super fun. I've knitted this on a 4.5 millimeter, so which is a 7 US needle size. And you don't, if you like mohair, or if you don't like mohair because it's too itchy, this one is scrumptious. And you don't need to double strand it with a fingering. You can knit it all by itself, and I think a ranunculus will be absolutely stunning in this yarn. So right now I only brought in one color because I wanted to try the yarn, and I wanted to see what people think of it before I invest in the store in all these different colors. So come in and let me know what you think. Touch it, feel it, you'll fall in love. So this is the Ballentine. It's a pattern by Alison Green at Barocco. She's one of the fashion designer. And yeah, so that's about it. What else did I have? I swatched for the Princess Tea, and I'm just gonna write down below here who the designer is. And I swatched twice, actually 3 times. That's my 3rd swatch. And let me tell you that once you swatch, you should always block it, because the yarn may behave a different way after it's blocked. So blocking, if you're not familiar with blocking, and I remember when I first started to knit, I took it back, and I was sitting at a knitting table of about 20 women, and they're talking about blocking, and I was like, ooh, what's that? And I was too embarrassed and shy to ask. Well, blocking is when you finish your knitted garment or accessories, you wash it, you soak it, and then you've removed all the water in a towel usually, and lay it flat to dry. So sometimes you have to pin it, and then more often than not, the yarn will bloom, and it will give you a different gauge. So do your swatch, and if your knitted garment is in the round, do your swatch in the round, like we've talked about that before. If it's knitted flat, Do you swatch flat? People have different gauge when they knit and they purl. So anyhow, I've done this swatch 3 times because I wasn't getting gauge. Now I'm doing a 3-strand of mohair. I wanted to knit it just with mohair, and now I can because I blocked it overnight and I got gauge. So the Princess Tee, here's a picture so you can have a look. It is absolutely stunning, and I think it's going to be my holiday of 2023 garment, and I think it'll be just fun and nice, and yeah, I'm excited, very, very excited. And also I am wearing some special earring, very special to me. It is done handmade here in New Brunswick by Ukrainian artisan Dodo Leather. I've been supporting them since I opened the store. They made some bags for me. And last week I went to the Bouctouche Farmers Market, which is open every Saturday from 8 to 1, and they will be there I think for the next few weeks. So if you're around, come and see them and support them. They're absolutely nice people and their artistry is amazing. And I've picked up a Barbie pink bracelet. So it's a bracelet now because it's too hot to be wearing a shawl, but it's also, I'm using it for a shawl cuff and a bracelet. So when you buy a leather bracelet, turn it into a shawl cuff. I love shawl cuff because when you wear your shawl, you just tie it up here and you don't have to keep flipping your shawl when you walk around, and you look really good with your shawl, your knitted shawl. So shawl cuff, bracelet. I will link Dodo Leather below. It is Natalia and Andre, and amazing people, local. Like, who doesn't want to support a local business, right? And also I decided that most likely will be my New Year cast on, and I'm talking about New Year cast on now because I have to do all my Christmas knits. My New Year cast on will be a participation for the Little Big Knit podcast knit along. It is called the, let's see here, I wrote it down earlier. The LBK Nordic Cal. So LBK is Little Big Knits Nordic Cal. And she's doing this cal, this knit along. You can either choose a Nordic designer or pick any designer and knit it with Nordic yarns. So I have picked a tam. I've never done a tam before, and I am going to insert a picture here. It is the Saxifrage tam, and it's by Veronik Avery. It's a free pattern and it's knitted in let lopi, and this I already have a lot of let lopi left over from different projects, so I am going to participate in Selma's Cal, and that will be my New Year's cast on. And I don't know about you, but I was watching Marie from Old Time Knits, and she has already knitted like 3 or 4 Christmas gifts, and I am itching to start mine. I don't usually knit very much for my family because having the store here makes me feel like I have to keep knitting for the store so I can have some garment and display for inspiration, and that's what people love about my store. But this year I am knitting for the family and I'm keeping it a secret, so I'm pretty excited. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I feel like I'm sitting in a big room with a bunch of my friends, so I hope you enjoyed it today. And don't forget, if you want to win one of the East Coast Cowl by Deborah, comment down below and I will draw at the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. Be kind, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.